My sister announced before my father's will was even read that I would not receive a single penny. Everyone looked at me with pity, but when the lawyer opened the next file, a silence fell over the entire room that no one could break. My sister announced before my father's will was even read that I would not receive a single penny, and when everyone looked at me with pity, I lowered my eyes, but then the lawyer opened the next file, and a silence filled the entire room that no one could break. My sister Emily's voice was still echoing in my ears. Dad left everything to me. You're getting nothing. She said it as if she wasn't waiting for a legal decision, as if she had already delivered the verdict herself. I was sitting on the old wooden chair that had always been placed beside the window in my father's living room. Outside, a light rain was falling over Seattle, the same kind of rain that always reminded me of the days I spent with my father when I was young. But at that moment, even the sound of the rain felt distant. Everyone in the room was looking at me, as if I was the daughter who had already lost. Emily held a coffee cup in her hand, wearing a strange expression of confidence. "I'm sorry, but this is the truth," she said. "Dad always knew who was there for him and who wasn't." Those words hit me like a sharp pain, because I knew the truth was completely different. 3 weeks earlier, my father was still alive. He lived in a small suburban home outside Boston, where the sound of his coffee machine filled the house every morning. I visited him often, brought him groceries, picked up things he needed from Target, and spent evenings watching old TV shows with him. Sometimes late-night TV played quietly in the background while we simply sat together without saying much. Emily. She visited maybe 2 or 3 times a year. But she always looked like the perfect daughter. Expensive clothes, beautiful words, and a way of acting in front of Dad that made it seem like no one loved him more than she did. Me. I was the one who quietly did everything. That night before the will reading, my hands were shaking. Maybe because of the grief. Maybe because I felt like losing my father meant losing the last person who truly understood me. The night before, I barely slept. At 3 a.m. I stood by the window of my suburban home, staring at the street lights outside. The road was completely empty. The refrigerator light became my strange little companion. I would get up for water, open the door, stand there for a few seconds, and then walk back to bed. I even had Ambien that my doctor had prescribed for sleep, but I didn't take it that night either. Strange. Sometimes you can make your body rest, but you can't force your mind to stop. Attorney Harris opened the file and asked everyone to remain quiet. His voice was calm, but Emily already had a victorious smile on her face. "Before we begin, I want to make something clear," the lawyer said. "This will is not the only final document available. There are additional legal papers attached." Emily immediately looked at me. "I already know what it says." I looked up. I don't know why, but something inside me felt different. Like there was something I didn't know yet. The lawyer opened the first file and began reading the will. Along with it, there was a recording of my father's voice. The moment his voice filled the room, tears immediately came to my eyes. "If you're hearing this, then I'm probably no longer with you," my father's voice said. "But I want my daughters to understand one thing. Love is not measured by money." Emily became silent. The lawyer continued explaining the property, bank accounts, and other assets. Emily's confidence slowly returned because she believed everything was going exactly as she expected. But then the lawyer picked up another file. "Now we come to a document Mr. Williams submitted after creating his will." The room suddenly became completely silent. "This is a legal statement where he explained who cared for him during the last 5 years and how that care was given." My heart started beating faster. The lawyer began reading. "My daughter Sarah did for me what a child does not do out of obligation but out of love. She sacrificed her time, her dreams, and her own comfort." I looked down because I didn't want anyone to see me crying. Then came the moment that changed everything. The lawyer said, "Mr. Williams created a separate trust during his lifetime. This trust is under Sarah's name and includes a portion of the house, investments, and a significant business partnership." Emily's face turned pale. "How is that possible?" she whispered. The lawyer continued reading. "This decision was made because Sarah never asked for anything." Those words went straight into my heart. But the story wasn't over. The lawyer pulled out one more document. "There is another request from Mr. Williams. He wanted this letter to be read only if someone ever tried to make Sarah feel less important." Everyone's eyes turned toward Emily. The lawyer began reading. "My daughter Emily, If you are hearing this, remember one thing. Wealth does not make someone greater. You always believed that what people could see was the truth, but love is often the quietest thing in the room. For the first time, I saw shame in Emily's eyes. I felt a strange sense of peace. This wasn't victory, at least not the kind people usually imagine. I didn't want to defeat Emily. I only wanted someone to finally see that I mattered too. That night when I returned home, I stayed awake for a long time. Late-night TV was playing, but I wasn't really listening. The streets outside leading toward Portland were glowing softly under the lights. My coffee machine was silent and the house was quiet, but for the first time that silence didn't feel empty. I finally understood something. For years I had been searching for approval from other people. I wanted someone to tell me, "You are enough." But the truth was, I needed to tell myself that. When the first morning light entered through my window, I realized the night was finally over. The weight I had carried for years was slowly disappearing. I took a deep breath and smiled. My father had not only given me an inheritance, he had given me back my sense of worth. And that morning, as sunlight filled my home, I made a promise to myself. I was no longer a woman searching for her name in someone else's will. I had become the woman who could write her own story. A new day, a new me. If this story touched your heart or made you think about the value of family, please support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more emotional and inspiring stories. Thank you so much for watching until the end and being part of our community. Your support truly means a lot to us.